Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here. We're back with more Caverns of Ixalan spoilers. I gotta say, the overall setting is cool. I thought Ixalan was awesome. It's just a shame we don't have a stable, fun, enjoyable format to play it in, isn't it? Well, there's always commanders, so let's start with the Belligerent. It's a 4-cost 5/5 legendary artifact vehicle, and when it attacks, create a treasure token. Until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime and play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Hello. And then crew 3. So it only works during your second main phase and only if you risked this, I guess. Other than that, this is unlimited draw. I mean, this is like utterly ridiculous. Usually it only applies to lands or it only applies to non-lands so that it slows it down a little bit. I know, I run 2 decks like this. But oh no. So yeah, crew 3, you can't just swing every turn, but maybe you can, especially if you got away with this for 1 turn and then started casting 4 cards at a time off the top of your library. Well, everybody hates vehicles. Let's move on to this thing. Oh good, the merfolk are still here. I was hoping they all died of merfolk pox or something, but anyway, it's Tishana's Tidebinder. It's a 3-cost blue creature merfolk with flash, 3/2, and when it enters the battlefield, counter up to 1 target activated or triggered ability. That's right, Void Slime ability, oh boy, fun. And if an artifact, creature, or planeswalker's ability is countered this way, that permanent loses all abilities until Tishana Tidebinder leaves the battlefield. This is kind of funny because it doesn't apply to spells. And activated and triggered abilities, that's huge. I actually don't hate this. Next up, Restless Ridgeline. Oh, that's right, you knew these were coming. It's the Manlands. So it enters tapped, you tap for 2 colors, Christmas of course, and if you pay 4, it becomes a 3/4 red and green dinosaur creature token until end of turn. It's still a land. And then whenever it attacks another target attacking creature, gets +2/+0 until end of turn, untap that creature. Yeah, the dinosaur deck is just going to be an all-out trample blitz, completely broken, and I've only seen like 15 cards so far. Next up, it's Inti, Sun's Caretaker. Didn't Bolas steal that? So I guess it's mistranslated. It's Inti, former Sun's Caretaker, comma, now unemployed. So he's a legendary creature human knight, and whenever you attack, you may discard a card. When you do, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. That creature gains trample until end of turn. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until your next end step. That is too much writing and a lot of things, while also being overpowered for 2. So welcome to the new baseline for standard rares. Next up, Brass's Tunnel Grinder. Hey, if you can't find the entrance to the caverns, just go down one way or another, right? So it's a legendary artifact, 3-cost red, and when it enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards and then draw that many +1. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, pause right there, you descend if if a permanent card was put into your graveyard from anywhere. So if you descended this turn, put a boar counter on Brass's Tunnel Grinder, then if there are 3 or more boar counters on it, remove those counters and transform it. What's on the other side? Thanks for asking, it's Tekutlin, the Searing Rift. See, that's why you don't dig straight down to Minecraft. So it's a land, you can tap it for red, and whenever you cast a permanent spell using mana produced by this, discover X, where X is that spell's mana value. I don't know if that's that thing we've seen already. If it is and you missed it, go check out my last videos. So next up we've got Restless Anchorage. That's right, Alaska's coming to get ya. Blue-white enters tapped, and then if you pay 3 until end of turn, it becomes a 2/3 white and blue bird creature with flying. Nice. It's still a land. And whenever it attacks, create a map token. I think that was the effect we already saw. Well, we're going to get them explained all eventually, but right now we've got Kitesail Larcenist. Apparently that is how that's spelled. So it's a 3-cost blue 2/3 creature human pirate with flying and ward 1, and when he enters battlefield, for each player, oh good, what are these again? Choose up to 2 other target artifact or creatures that player controls. For as long as this card remains on the battlefield, the chosen permanents become treasure artifacts with tap, sack, well, you know what a treasure does. And the permanent loses all other abilities. Oh good, they put other this time so that he can't target himself and be in an infinite loop. That's an improvement over last time. Next up we've got Braided Net. It's a 3-cost blue artifact, and when it enters battlefield, it enters with 3 net counters on it, because of course it does. Tap it, remove a net counter from Braided Net, and tap another target non-land permanent. Its activated abilities can't be activated for as long as it remains tapped. I'm telling you, D&D tabletop, living that net life, man. You guys gotta get into that net throwing. Anyway, it has Craft with Artifact 2. Still nobody knows what that means, but I assume it means flip it, because on the backside we've got braided Kipu. Still better than what's at most fashion shows. So if you pay 4 and tap it, draw a card for each artifact you control, which is ridiculous, and then put this card into its owner's library, third from the top. I guess you won the beauty pageant. Next up, ooh, it's the reveal of the final boss of Minecraft. It's Whaaaat, Deepest Epoch. It's a 4-cost double blue legendary creature god, 4/3 with flying. That's right, Ixalan had gods this whole time. They were just chilling in the underground. And whenever you cast an instant spell from your hand, it gains Rebound, which is exile it as it resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast it from exile without paying its mana cost. If you miss it, it stays in exile. I think. When Whaaaat dies, return it to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control with 3 time counters on it. It turns into a land called Temple of Cyclical Time. Because why come up with your own stuff when you can just rip off the Tale of Time City book? Again. Not saying they really did it, I'm just playing. But you can tap it for blue, remove a time counter from it. Cool. So you just arbitrarily do that because no mana burn. And then if you pay 3, tap it, transform it, activate only if it has no time counters on it, and only at sorcery speed. Next up, more German silliness, but it translates allegedly to Subterranean Schooner. And if you pay 2, you get a 3/4 with only crew 1. It's an artifact vehicle, but whenever it attacks, target creature that crewed it this turn explores. Okay, I expected that to be a downside when I started reading. Holy crap, this thing's stupidly overpowered. A 3/4 for 2 in blue with a minimal crew ability, or cost I should say. And whatever completely safely tapped it gets to explore. That is absolutely absurd. Next up, Resplendent Angel. Oh god, this is a reprint. Here we go. So it's a 3-cost double white, which is funny because it'll go in a white-black deck in this set. Creature, angel, with flying and a 3/3. But at the beginning of each end step, if you gain 5 or more life this turn, create a freaking 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. Yeah, flying and vigilance, 4/4, just for gaining life. Yeah, weaponized defense. This card was kind of annoying when it was out, and the amount of life gain is cranked up to about 50 times that now, so we're about to see something. So it's a 6-cost last ability with triple white. Pretty harsh, but, you know, hey, 50% white. You could have the other 3 be black in the average deck. Until end of turn, Resplendent Angel gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink. That's right. Resulting in 5 life gain. Yeah. So this is a $45 card in case you were curious. I didn't know this, but it was only first printed in Core Set 2019 and then not really after that except for a promo and, well, the promo pack and, you know, the usual stuff. I don't know, was it the list? Whatever, who cares? Yeah, the demand for this is nuts. If you got a copy, sell it. Next up, Magmatic Galleon. It's a 5-cost 5/5 double red artifact vehicle, and when it enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Whenever 1 or more creatures your opponents control are dealt excess non-combat damage, create a treasure token. Not per damage, that would be absurdly overpowered. This is just regular overpowered. And crew 2. Pathetic compared to the blue ship, but still pretty darn good. Unfortunately, the color lead disagrees with paying 5 for anything at a fundamental level. Next up, we've got the Bringer of the Last Gift. Ooh, what's this? It's a 6/6 for 8, creature vampire demon with flying. Probably the original vampire, who knows? And when Bringer of the Last Gift enters the battlefield, if you cast it, each player sacrifices all other creatures they control. Then, each player returns all the creature cards from the graveyard that weren't put there this way to the battlefield. That is overcosted, stupid, and borderline unplayable. I really didn't see that coming. So, everybody blows up everything, and then any creature that was put in the graveyard through any means, any other time, that gets resurrected for free with full ETB and everything, including all your opponents. Which, if you're playing black, you probably put some creatures in the graveyard one way or another. Your opponent's graveyard. No, they don't all come out under your control. It's under each player's control. That is insane. So next up, let's take a look at another, looks like a mythic, hard to tell with this stupid set symbol, but Bonehorde Dracosaur. It's a 6-cost 5/5 creature dinosaur dragon, because of course it is. Flying first strike, and Charizard here has, at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. If you exiled a land card this way, create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. If you exiled a non-land card this way, create a treasure token. This is just go through your deck at the fastest speed possible in set form, isn't it? I mean, that's I guess the super creative and never before seen thing that they're doing with blue-red. Doesn't really vibe with running a 5-cost, but who knows? And finally, we've got the Throne of the Grim Captain. You never know what you're going to find in that underground. So it's a legendary artifact, 2-cost colorless. Ooh. Tap, mill 2 cards. You yourself mill 2 cards, okay. And then craft with a dinosaur, a merfolk, a pirate, and a vampire. Finally, they're going to say what it is. And then 4. So pay 4. Exile this artifact. Exile the 4 from among permanents you control and or cards in your graveyard. Okay. And then return this card transformed under its owner's control, craft only as a sorcery. Aha. So on the backside, you get the Grim Captain, who was apparently 3-headed, or they really just had fun with his corpse. That's probably what it was. Might as well have a laugh at the funeral. So it's a skeleton spirit pirate, 7/7 with menace, trample, lifelink, and hexproof. In other words, your opponent just lost. And whenever the Grim Captain attacks, each opponent sacrifices a non-land permanent. Then you may put an exiled creature card used to craft this onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking. You know, looking back at the front card, you have to exile one of each, a dinosaur, a merfolk, a pirate, and a vampire. It says exile the 4 from among permanents you control. So 2 dinosaurs and 2 merfolk, or one of each? Because I know which one's probably not going to happen, and I know which one's definitely not going to happen. Hey, are you running Changeling Tribal in Commander? Because if so, I got some news for you. So this isn't even Whip of Erebos. The creature doesn't go away at the end of turn. This is just stupid. It's a little convoluted, but it's open to everyone despite its, black identity, because who cares? It has nothing to do with black mana. This is just to keep it out of certain commander decks. But in standard, oh boy. But if you actually need one of each of those, it's just not going to happen. I love it when the reminder text needs either more reminder text or rules text. That is the most Whaaaat thing ever. Well, anyway, that is it for today. They're getting spicier as we go. And there'll be even more to cover Monday, so subscribe if you don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.